we have another WNBA player that is in trouble today after online activity. Now, we all know
The WNBA we once knew is officially dead, and the league that's replacing it is currently in the middle of a full-scale civil war. For decades, players operated in a bubble where they could say what they wanted and play how they wanted because, quite frankly, very few people were paying attention. But those days are over. The money has arrived, the cameras are everywhere, and the owners are starting to realize that the old way of doing things is actively hurting their brand-new billion-dollar investment. Just an hour ago, the internet nearly broke when one of the league's most decorated veterans seemingly confirmed what many have been whispering for months. The crackdown has begun, and if you don't fall in line,
unholy stuff. Like, I just got to keep it real, bruh. Like, damn. Somebody said very few vets act like vets. We know in other sports, but they're true professions. The sooner the vets of the WNBA are gone, there are a better league it will be. Somebody said that's part I miss, boo-boo. You play better when you're angry and crashing out.
you're going to find yourself on the outside looking in. It all started with a series of posts from Skylar Diggins-Smith that sent shockwaves through the front offices in New York and beyond. Skylar isn't just any player. She's a household name who has been the face of the league for years. But her recent social media activity suggests that the quiet and good persona she's been maintaining is finally wearing thin. She went on a tear, calling out what she described as bigotry,
With all that being said, I'm telling you right now, the league is cracking down on these players speaking out online. A lot of this ABCD, LGBTQ stuff is possibly finna start. No. Oh, no. But one player has broken the
homophobic and racist attacks that players are being forced to endure in the name of mental toughness. But here's the kicker. Shortly after these statements went live, the news broke that she was heading to the bench. In the professional sports world, there are no coincidences. When a star player starts making noise that scares away the family-friendly sponsor
is leaving the building like Elvis did, bro. Elvis is leaving. They want the league straight. Yeah, whatever y'all feel like y'all need to do with y'all significant others playing on the same, that's just weird, man. It is weird.
The organization finds a way to quiet the noise. But Skylar's frustration isn't just about mean comments on the internet. It's about a fundamental shift in how the league is being run. For years, the WNBA was a tight-knit community where certain social agendas and personal identities were not just accepted, but were the core of the league's identity. Now, with the Caitlin Clark effect bringing in millions of new viewers who just want to see high-level basketball, the league is at a crossroads. The fans who are buying up tickets and tuning in from across the globe don't necessarily care about the political or personal leanings of the players. They want the logo threes, the fast breaks, and the rivalries. And when players like Skylar suggest that the league needs to do more to police the outside noise, they're missing the point. In a real professional,
girls look like guys. Girls don't look like girls. It look like it's some weird. You know what I'm saying? I just got to be honest. It just be looking spooky, you know, but
league, the noise is part of the job. If you look at the NFL or the NBA, those athletes deal with a level of scrutiny and hate that would make most people fold in a single afternoon. To them, it's just Tuesday. But in the WNBA, the old guard is struggling to adapt to the reality that they are now part of the entertainment business, not a private club. The owners are tired of the players messing up the money
and all of this BS that they keep saying, because that's what it is. It's a bunch of BS, bro. Like you getting on here and you're doing all of these things, saying all of these things, and
focusing on things that happen off the court. They've seen the numbers, and they know that the league is finally profitable, but that profit is tied to a specific type of presentation. There are even whispers behind the scenes that the league is looking to rebrand away from some of the more controversial social elements to ensure that they don't alienate the massive new audience that just arrived. This tension reached a boiling point during a post-game exchange between Becky Hammon and Stephanie White. On the surface, it looked like two legendary figures sharing a laugh after a hard-fought game. But the internet, as it always does, looked closer. The way they covered their mouths, the specific way they were chuckling, it felt like an inside joke that the rest of us weren't supposed to hear. Some are speculating that they were discussing the very shift we're seeing right now. Thank you for helping the agenda type of moment. While we might never know exactly what was said, the optics were clear.
And she did a horrible job of covering up her mouth. But yeah, man, I think they need male coaches. I think they need to get rid of this LGBTQ stuff and let
People in power are on a different page than the players who are complaining on Twitter. It's almost as if there's a secret agreement to move the league in a direction that favors the straight and narrow path to maximize global appeal. And that leads us to the most uncomfortable truth of all. The game itself is evolving, and it's leaving the veterans behind. For a long time, the WNBA was defined by a late 80s style of bully ball, physical, rough, and often slow-paced. It was a style of play that relied more on toughness than skill. But the modern fan doesn't want to see players getting assaulted in the paint or roughhousing just to prove a point. They want the fast-paced, high-skill movement that the younger generation is bringing to the floor. The physical play that used to be the league's calling card is now being viewed as spooky or weird by the new audience. When the woman aspect of women's basketball starts to disappear in favor of a more aggressive, masculine style of play.
physicality. What's happening is the game is evolving. The women's basketball game is evolving to modern basketball. As of right now, they're playing late 80s style b-ball, and the late 80s style b-ball is just not in right now. Hell, it left in the late 80s, bruh.
You start losing the very people who are supposed to be your biggest supporters. The reality is that many of these veterans are aging out of the league, and they aren't taking it well. They feel offended by less playing time or being asked to come off the bench, but they failed to realize that the game has simply passed them.
Last video, these owners are tired of y'all messing up the money, man. Look, whatever league y'all knew before Caitlin Clark got here, that league no longer exists.
They aren't as efficient, they aren't as fast, and quite frankly, they aren't as marketable as the new stars. When Skylar Diggins-Smith says she's been so quiet and so good, she's basically admitting that she's been playing the game the front office wants her to play. But now that she's being pushed to the side, the gloves are coming off. But crashing out on social media isn't going to save her spot in the rotation. If anything, it's giving the owners more reason to accelerate the transition to the new era. The agenda that everyone is talking about
business. And are you not entertained with the amount of money you getting now? Are you not entertained with the notoriety y'all getting now? Because all of this stuff here, if NFL players, NBA players speak about how much hate they get, it'll break the damn internet. But that's neither here or there.
Isn't some hidden conspiracy. It's the simple reality of capitalism. The WNBA is finally getting a taste of what it's like to be a major league, and that means the personal feelings of the players take a back seat to the success of the brand. The league is reportedly looking to move away from the same-sex
all quick plays and all of these things. So, I don't know. Moving on to another story. This was Becky Hammond smiling and chuckling with Stephanie White at the end of the game. Let's roll it.
relationship, branding that has been a staple for years. Not because of a moral judgment, but because they want to sell jerseys to families in the suburbs and land massive deals with companies that avoid controversy at all costs. They want the league to be straight in its presentation because that's where the growth is. It's a harsh pill to swallow for the players who built this league from nothing. They feel like they're being erased from the very house they helped build. But as the saying goes, Elvis has left the building. The old WNBA is gone, and it's never coming back. The physicality, the internal politics, and the constant social media battles are being replaced by a polished, professional product designed for the masses. Whether you think that a good thing or a bad thing depends on why you watch the game, but one thing is certain. The crackdown is real, and we're only seeing the beginning of the fallout. As more players start to speak out and realize their influence is waning, we can expect more shocks and more reveals about what's really going on in the locker rooms. The tension between the vets and the newcomers is only going to get worse before it gets better. But at the end of the day, the league is moving toward a future where the basketball is the only thing that matters. The question is, how many legendary careers will be offed or benched in the process of making that?
By the Chicago Sky. They placed her on the bench. Let's take a look at her timeline. So this was 5 hours ago. It says bigotry, homophobic, and racist attacks on social media and otherwise are not outside noise.
Vision of reality. The agenda is moving forward, with or without the players who started it all. This entire situation leaves us wondering, is the WNBA losing its soul to find its success? Or is this just the natural evolution of a sport that is finally being treated like the multi-billion-dollar business it was always meant to be? The owners have made their choice, and the old guard is finding out the hard way that in the world of professional sports, nobody is bigger than the game, and certainly nobody is bigger than the paycheck. As we watch more veterans get moved to the bench and more controversial voices get silenced, the new face of the league is becoming clearer every day. It's a face that's polished, profitable, and perfectly curated for a global audience. The only thing left to see is who will still be standing when the dust finally settles on this transition. Make sure you stay tuned, because this story is evolving by the hour, and the next player to crash out might just be the one you least expect. The league is changing, the fans are watching, and the stakes have never been higher. Get down in the comments and let me know. Do you think the league is right to sanitize its image, or are they betraying the players who stayed loyal when nobody else was watching? This is just the beginning of a very long, very loud conversation. Keep your eyes on the court, but keep your ears open to the whispers, because that's where the real story is being told. Until next time, keep it locked here for the truth that nobody else is willing to say. Peace.